Welcome! I'm Fern Rivers, and we're out today on a spring hike. Some of my favorite plants are spring ephemerals, the flowers that capitalize on grabbing the sun's energy before the trees leaf out. These forest dwellers will disappear with the shade, but that's what makes them so special. It's like a treasure hunt to find them all at just the right time. The gifts of spring. Let's check our list. Baby animals, yes. Flowers, yes. Butterflies, yep. Definitely saw birds. Warm weather. We'll focus on what we have, shall we? Oh, what's this? No, it's not a literal representation of a figurative phrase. We'll just say it's an allergy, a spring fever that only happens during gardening season. I'm no horticulturalist, but I do love plants. Let's see if Franz has a spring-related assignment for us. Franz? Franz? He might be cross because flowers were on the list. Ferns don't flower, which makes him feel underappreciated. But he did leave a note. Spring botanical study. Yeah, he's probably frustrated. I'll check back with him later. There's just one more thing. No demonic voice? No archives? Okay, well, good. Moving on. I think it's humbling to remind ourselves why we have flowers at all. It's all about sex. Really, I mean, when you're rooted to the ground, how can you ensure pollination? Insects, birds, and other pollinators have evolved with flowers over time, sometimes in a highly specialized way. Nectar and pollen are rewards for visitors who can spread the pollen, a flower's genetic material, by flower hopping. Once fertilized, a flower will develop into a fruit or seed-bearing structure, thus preparing for a new generation of plants. But what about the sex? Birds and the bees. Many flowers are a house to both male and female parts. With all respect, let's take a look. The pistil is the female part of the flower. It has a sticky stigma to receive pollen. Then the pollen travels down the style and into the ovary, where it will develop into seeds. The receptacle contains the ovary, where the seeds will develop. The stamens are the male parts surrounding the pistil. They have the pollen-bearing anther held up by the filament. So you ask, why doesn't the flower just self-fertilize? Well, some do, but it's always better to have genetic diversity. And to say more would require a much longer video. The part we're attracted to, usually the petals of the flower, did not intend us as its audience. What we see is certainly lovely and appreciated, but the flower is a neon sign in an unseen world. Many insects, for example, see UV wavelengths, and when the flower is placed under this light, It positively glows with color and nectar guides to point its visitors in the right direction. Let's look at flower advertising. These petals have markings known as nectar guides. Let's turn on the UV light. So cool. Since this is nature art, let's hit the floor and start our botanical study. The goal is to draw the plant accurately so that it is identifiable. No, the color is not named for the street corner profession. It's named after a British botanical illustrator in the early 19th century, William Hooker. There were two of them, actually, two Hookers. Both were in the botanical field. Sir William Hooker was a well-traveled, well-educated man and the director of Kew Gardens. The other Hooker was the botanical illustrator for the Royal Horticultural Society. He was best known for the fruit illustrations the Society commissioned from him between 1815 to 1823. He is the one we honor now because he made one of the most favored greens for leaves used by artists past to present. Hooker's green was originally a combination of gamboge and Prussian blue. Today, the hue is synthetic and varies according to the company producing it. But we can thank the lesser-known Hooker every time we look to our palette for a little verdance.